Howdy everyone, Patrick here, doing a overview review of the Star Wars Black Series Riot Control Baton. I got this off Amazon for $90. Let me stop real quick. Apologize for the focus. This is a Galaxy Note 9 front camera, and if any of y'all know how to fix the freaking focus on this thing, please tell me, because even Google can't help me. Anyways, let's continue. So this, of course, is the Star Wars Black Series Riot Control Baton. We first saw it in Star Wars The Force Awakens. Very iconic weapon right off the bat. I'm very happy that they decided to make this weapon, which is their first branching away from lightsabers. Of course, Black Series has done the 6-inch figures. They've done a 3.75. They've done some other things. They did lightsabers and helmets that you've seen on the channel. This one is kind of the first weapon outside of lightsabers, and I'm intrigued by that. It would be interesting if they even maybe decided to do a DL-44, which I believe is Han Solo's blaster. I could be wrong, but or maybe a original Stormtrooper blaster. I think that would be really nice. Not as many built-in lights and everything, but I think if they went with a good quality thing like this, that would turn out really good. So getting to this, the quality of this is actually pretty nice. The handle feels like metal. This little glass breaker, which is not sharp at all. I mean, I wouldn't go hitting people with it, but it's not sharp. Wouldn't work as a glass breaker. They both feel metal, and they've got a good weight to it. This thing does have a internal vibrate when you turn it on, so it kind of feels like you're actually having something mechanical turn on. It's got a good heft to it. It is very, it's not super meant for, the true spinning of that, obviously, because it's got different mechanical items in it, and of course the battery's back here, and it's got the lights and everything, so, but you can still spin it, and I'm not afraid to spin it. I wouldn't necessarily go hitting it on things, mainly because these pieces, but it's still got a good spinability to it. You've got speakers on this side. They're actually right here in these arrows. You've got this top part and this bottom part, or kind of a rubbery piece. They're not true rubber, they're not soft, but they are rubbery feeling. You have, of course, the grip, the activation button on top. You've got lights all along in these 4 on either side, and then you've got your blue lights that turn on the end. Of course, these both flip out. This bottom one goes, if you're holding it in front of you, this one goes clockwise and this one goes counterclockwise. So of course, to turn them and put them back in, you have to spin them back the other direction, but we'll get there. Back here is something I didn't know existed on this. This is, I guess they call it the safety switch. Now, right now it's in red. When it's in red, when you hit this button once, it doesn't flip open, it just turns these lights on. You get kind of like a beginning hum to it. You don't get motion sensor, and you don't get clash sensor when it's like that. But these LEDs turn on, these LEDs turn on, and well, I say LEDs, these lights and these lights turn on, and you get very low sound. When you open this is when you get the blue lights, and the sound gets a lot heavier. You also get motion sensing and clashing. Now, you can't, when red, like I said, means you hit it once and it doesn't open, you then switch it over to black, and you can hit it with both. But I've found that in playing with this, I can, if you just slightly tap that button, it won't open up the arms. It will just let you just activate it. So I'll do it once. I'll run through the sequence once with the lights on, and then I'll turn the lights off. And you'll get a sense that this thing isn't crazy bright, but it's got good light to it. So I just want to make sure that I do the 2-stage. So I've got the red activated. Like I said, you get that, and then you get these lights on the bottom. No motion activation and no clash. Okay, but let's flip that to black and let's do the flip out. Which is nice. I like it. You can't flip it out while activating it. These arms can get locked into separate directions, but of course you can just kind of pop them back in. These can be taken off, and I've kind of looked into how to maybe fix it, but it looks like I'd have to get into the internals, and I think that they're meant to be a little loose to allow for not as much tension on the plastic when it is, you know, sprung out like that. There's two ways to turn it off from here. You can hold the button, which is good because I like to display mine open. So it comes with, geez, if I can hold on to this. It comes with this nice little stand. It's just like the original Master Replicas stands, and I even think some Black Series. Maybe not, maybe not. The original Master Replicas lightsabers came with these. And of course, you can put one there, and you can display it like that. And I like, this is how I display mine, open like this. I will probably eventually one day mount it to the wall, which you can do. It lines up very, like this is going to be very close to the wall. If you put this on the wall, which of course you can because it's got those, I can't remember what they're called, but, and of course it comes with a separate, this one comes with a second shorter one so that you can display it with the thing closed. Speaking of close, let me turn this back on. The second way to turn this off is to close it. And to close this, you push in, you see that, just a little bit, and then go back the way it came. So for that bottom one, it comes out clockwise, so it goes back in counterclockwise. This top one goes back clockwise because it came out counterclockwise. As soon as you close that second one, it should turn off. Once I closed it and it didn't turn off, it just took a second to react and finally close. Speaking of, so I just want to show you all this as well. I have it on black. When I open it, it automatically pops the red back down. So the safety does automatically come back on. Let's see. That's exactly what I was talking about. I'm glad I got it on camera. So these lights on bottom aren't that bright. I wish they were a little brighter, but it's still nice. The lights are good, sound is good. Motion activator takes a second to act up, but it's good there. The clash I find interesting because of course the sensor is back here. So you could kind of maybe do that, hit it if you're willing to sacrifice your forearm a little, you could hit your forearm to activate it. But I don't recommend hitting it on this middle piece, especially when the arms are out, because like I said, they're not fragile and they're not loose, but they can pop off, and it can be kind of scary the first time it pops off. So really, I like it. Now, would I spend $200 for it? No. I was looking at the reviews on it for Amazon before I purchased it, and one of the reasons I purchased it was, like I said, I got it for $90. The reason I purchased it was looking at the reviews. It was a 3-star, but all the reviews said cost too much. I would not spend $200 on this. I just wouldn't. I don't think it's worth it. I think if they fixed this, as far as like them moving around and being kind of loose, oh, absolutely $200. I think that'd be great because then you could have it just adds that extra level of sturdiness. But I think Black Series is still doing a good job. I think kind of what they're going for is not your average kid's toy, but also like, look, you know, you get what you're paying for. You're not going to get this super great collectible for even $200, you know, which a lot of us think we should, but then you look at some of these Little Giant statues, or not Little Giant, like Hot Toys statues, and they're like $700. So, you know, you have to understand what you're paying for. I really don't have too much else to add. So let's turn off the lights and see what it looks like in the dark. Well, hope y'all enjoyed it, and I genuinely hope that if y'all can get it for $90, I hope you go out and get it. Y'all have a good one.